Hi there. My name's Chase Holtzhauser. We are currently in the panhandle of Florida, and we're on the Florida Trail out here looking for Southern Dusky Salamanders. I'm in one of the last known locations where they are verified to be. So I'm heading there right now to see if we can find some. We're not going to find any out here, one, because it's too hot, but two, because, well, this just isn't the right habitat. As you can see, this is all predominantly pine trees and this kind of scrubby palmetto stuff, and you don't really find Southern Duskies in that type of stuff. Where we're going is this little floodplain of a creek. So hopefully we'll dig around and try to find some there. The ecology for this area is pretty well managed. You can see I'm not having any trouble walking through this terrain. There's not a whole lot of real thick, scrubby, dense brush. And that's because they do frequent controlled burns in here. You can see some black marks on the bottoms of the trees, and this one is pretty well burned. It died before they even started the burn. And it really wasn't until recently, within the last couple decades, that we realized just how important controlled burning was. You see, when there's no controlled burns, all of this would become some pretty dense brush that you wouldn't be able to walk through. And that's just not natural habitat. This is about as natural as you can expect to find. You see a few palmettos here and there, this really low-lying grasses. That's pretty normal. That is entirely native. And the only thing that's not native are these trees. These are all slash pines, and they should be longleaf pines, and they're really just remnants, old relics of the logging industry that once controlled these areas. Now, one of the reasons it's so well managed is because of these little white lines on the trees. What that signifies is this is a tree where red cock-headed woodpeckers took up residence. And because it's federally listed as an endangered species, there's a lot of effort to repopulate the species through proper management of its habitat. So us biologists have really come a long way in replicating their original habitat, and we owe them a lot because, yeah, the original focus was to help out the woodpeckers, but it created a lot of viable habitat for the rest of Florida's natural wildlife. So hopefully we'll see quite a few more species come back: flatwood salamanders, southern dusky salamanders, bears, panthers. They're all benefiting from better land management. Right now we're walking through a part of the forest that hasn't been burned as well as the last part we were in. And you can really see what I'm talking about with the buildup of this really brushy, nasty habitat. There's no way you can walk through this stuff. The only reason I can is because there's a clear-cut trail here. And this is really a good opportunity to showcase the importance of burns to the environment. A lot of people, when they think about forest fires, they think they're these horrible, terrible, destructive forces that just completely annihilate everything. And the ironic thing is, it's because there are no fires that such destructive wildfires occur. Normally, when fires are allowed to occur naturally, all this really brushy stuff is controlled and kept at a minimum. When fires are suppressed, it really builds up all this stuff, which creates more fuel. All the leaf litter falls down to the ground and isn't dealt with, which creates even more fuel. So you get these raging wildfires when something does happen that kills all the trees. Now, with native fires, all of that is kept to a minimum because there's not very much fuel since the last burn. There should be fires about every 1, 2, or even 3 years to keep all this stuff to an absolute minimum for fuel. And when that is allowed to happen, the fires just kind of creep along the ground and don't really destroy much of anything.